What's up, rich people? It's me, Haley, and I'm a financial pop star. If you like wigs and also like Kristen wig, welcome to my Chanel. Speaking of wigs, this is a wig. Do not pull too hard. And also, speaking of Kristen wig, have you ever seen the film Bridesmaids? This piece of cinema is truly canon, both in a comedic sense and in a financial sense. I laughed, I cried, I took notes. So here are the financial lessons, there are 4 of them, that I learned from Bridesmaids. Lesson numero uno, diversify your damn portfolio. Okay, so if you've ever seen Bridesmaids, you know that when we entered the film, our main character, Annie, is in quite a pinch. She went all in on her small business, Cake Baby, and then the recession hit and she lost
everything.
Well, I'm the genius that opened a bakery during the recession.
When we meet her, she is $40K in debt, miserable working retail.
It looks like you have menstrual cramps.
Living with 2 horrible but also hilarious roommates.
I got a free tattoo.
And driving a car that honestly seemed unsafe.
You have to punch it a few times.
The reason that the financial lesson here is to diversify is that Annie went all in on her small business. She didn't have an emergency fund. She didn't really think about worst case scenario. She just jumped in head first and hoped for the best. Obviously, to be an entrepreneur, to start a small business, you have to have a big sense of confidence and hope about your dream. You have to believe okay, this is really gonna happen. There's no way this can fail. And so I get Annie's mentality of going all in, but also
never go all in.
You always have to have a backup plan. You must have an emergency fund. You should always diversify your investments. When you don't, you leave yourself open to financial ruin. Why would you even take that risk? And I think there's also a misconception that
in order to go all in, you have to put all your money in.
No, you can go all in with your heart and your efforts and your dreams, but you can also keep a little bit of your money to the side in case things don't play out the way that you want them to. Lesson number 2, more money does not mean better. Honestly, writing this script, it was interesting because it was wow, film studies. I was a film studies major and I was okay, we're going back to school. We're really analyzing the plot. But seriously, there are layers to this film. There are a lot of little nuances that are super weighty in terms of lessons. And one of the biggest ones is that, yeah, if something's more expensive or if someone has more money, it doesn't mean that they're any better. I would say the best example of this in the film is when Helen's best friend, Lillian, tries on this super expensive dress that they've been hyping up. It's from Europe, millions of dollars and the whole thing. And she puts it on and literally looks like a cupcake. There's this misconception that more money equals more better, but it doesn't. So they have to take a beat and then they get back to reality and they're okay, yeah, that is ugly. And I think it's really important to remember what actually has value to you. A price tag is one way to see the value of something, but I would say a better way to see the value of something is just to ask yourself what it's worth. And then you will be able to do value-based spending, which is obviously the best way to spend money because you'll never have regrets because you will just be spending money on things that actually mean something to you and have worth. Lesson number 3, don't let money define your self-worth. Wherever you're at right now financially is a sum of your past financial decisions. And wherever you're going is a sum of the financial decisions that you're gonna make from this point forward. And the reason that I say this is because you can always change, you can always do better, and you can always flip the switch, but it really just requires believing in yourself and having self-worth. When we meet Annie, our main character, she does not have self-worth. She is a sum of her past financial decisions, which obviously
were really bad.
And she's letting this all really define her. All of this really brings down her self-esteem and keeps her in this really weird, bad relationship with John Hamm, who is hot, but also horrible to her, and prevents her from taking pride in her true talents, which is have you seen what the woman can do with fondant? Okay, cake boss who? But the point is, you shouldn't let money define your self-worth. You should define your self-worth. worth. And then money can be an add-on that makes your life better but doesn't define your happiness. Lesson number 4, never let a disparity in wealth cause you to drop your bestie. Anne and Lil, they have been friends forever and they have a low-key friendship. Like when we first meet them, they are illegally taking a workout class.
What are you looking at?
Oh shit, he sees us.
Hey!
And then, you know, Lillian gets wrapped up with this girl, Helen, who's super rich. She gets so wrapped up with Helen's money that she like loses perspective on her other friends. Like she fully lets Helen buy her friendship. And then when her best friend for so long, Annie, is struggling and like obviously can't afford to spend $800 for a bridesmaid dress or fly first class to Vegas for the bachelorette party.
Help me, I'm poor.
No.
She can't even really empathize or like see the weirdness in that. You can definitely talk about money with your friends. In fact, I encourage it, but don't use money to buy friends. This is just not a stable foundation and confuses everything because it adds this like weird power dynamic into things. Like, is it normal and healthy of Helen to have stolen Annie's idea for a Parisian bridal shower and have made it into like a grand experience?
Helen's taking me to Paris.
No, that's not normal or healthy. That's someone who's unwell. And is it right for Annie to like let it really affect her and knock her down?
So awesome.
No, both of them are wrong. You shouldn't let people buy your love and money shouldn't be a foundation of your friendship. I really feel like it's true that when other people spend money on you in a weird way, like the way that Helen was in the movie, it does make you feel like you owe them or like have to like treat them in a certain way that is unnatural and ultimately unhealthy. And furthermore, be empathetic during wedding season about people's finances. These are super expensive events and money is really complicated and also should be something that you're able to invest at your own discernment. So you shouldn't ever be forced to spend money just because someone like met someone else and decided to like put a ring on it. It should be a decision and you should be able to support your friends if they don't want to invest their hard-earned cash into your big event. Okay, gotta go listen to Wilson Phillips, but please do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to not be a psycho if you're having a wedding and actually like take this advice and make sure that you keep your damn head on straight because those events make people crazy. And as always, sweetie, stay rich, bitch.